Valtiel has a name that follows the pattern of the great angels: Michael, Gabriel, Uriel. The El name ending means of God, and most angel names follow that pattern. The first portion of Valtiel's name comes from the word valet, like a butler or attendant, meaning Valtiel is the attendant of God. He's described as an angel. In the creation story of the Order's myth, the story describes the creation of many gods and angels, but only two are named: the red god Zuchilbara and the yellow god Lobsilvith. The names of these angels seem to be invented by the team. I haven't found any real-world inspiration or myths they could originate from. There's been plenty of speculation on the identity of these two angels. It seems a big coincidence that there are two of them, and there are two great monsters in the series, Valtiel and Pyramid Head. But Masahiro Ito, concept artist and designer of Pyramid Head, has stated that the monster is not in fact related to the red god Zuchilbara. We learn so little of the Order's faith, and the details are so distorted and broken, that it is hard to say for sure what anything means. If Pyramid Head isn't Zuchilbara, that puts a bit of a hole in the theory that the two angels correspond to both monsters. But there's another detail that might tell us more about Pyramid Head and Valtiel, again from Masahiro Ito. He says that Pyramid Head is the shape of Valtiel's reason for existence. If Valtiel exists to serve God, then Pyramid Head must be the shape of God. Maybe not God in the strictest sense, but perhaps a monster that acts out God's will, or is created from the cult's belief in what God would be. So the reason Pyramid Head isn't Zuchilbara is because he isn't an angel. He represents God herself. But Valtiel is still considered an angel, a servant of God. On his shoulders we see the Seal of Metatron, which is named for the angel Metatron. Metatron is one of the most fascinating angels from Jewish and Christian tradition. He is considered the youngest angel, as he wasn't created with the original angels, but was a human made into the divine, a man named Enoch, who did not die, but was taken alive into heaven by the hands of God and transformed. Metatron serves as a direct servant of God, the in-between, something like a celestial secretary. Many things are attributed to him. The angelic language Enochian is named for him. The Jewish magical study Kabbalah is said to have been created by him. He is the voice of God, a totally unique creature in this religious tradition. The Seal of Metatron is said to be able to stop God from manifesting. In the first game, Alessa attempts to use it to keep her mother from finishing God's birth. In the third game, Vincent attempts to have Heather use it to keep from birthing God. It fails in the first game because Harry and Dahlia intervene. In the third title, when they try to use it, it does nothing, and Claudia claims the symbol has no power. But if you look at the symbols closely enough, you'll notice that they change from the first to the third game. The symbols in the circle are different. Perhaps this is why it didn't work. The seal is also called the Viren 7 Crest. Viren seems to be a Hindu name meaning son of Lord Krishna, a god who punishes evildoers. In Silent Hill, Pyramid Head is the god who punishes evil, and this name once again implies Valtiel's subservience to Pyramid Head. Why is the seal that serves to stop God's birth named for a creature that is supposed to serve God's will? The thing is, the concept of God in Silent Hill is a little vague. We know the cult believes in a female deity who they want to summon to the world, but there's also a power that exists behind Silent Hill. The town has a will of its own, a god itself, who may be inspired by the cult, but isn't necessarily the cult's god. The symbol of Metatron has a very different feeling compared to the halo of the sun. The signs drawn within it aren't as distinct, but there are still some noticeable details. The triangle facing upward represents power, success, and is from the second tier of magic. It's also the alchemical symbol for fire. The symbol within it might be a combination of the symbol for the asteroid Ceres and the symbol for paragraph, which represents law. Valtiel spends his time in the background of Silent Hill 3. We see him from time to time, and it's implied he is always watching us. It's upsetting to think of a creature that can follow and watch us while we can't see him. More so, because Valtiel doesn't have eyes, so we can't see where he's looking, and we don't know how it is he actually senses and follows us. He looks more human than almost all the other creatures we see, but that only makes him more upsetting. The similarities make the differences stand out all the more. He has webbed fingers, gray, rotting flesh, no facial features, and moves in an eerie, spider-like fashion. He is in charge of the changes between the real world and otherworld, and this is the first time that power has been defined as belonging to one beast. Alessa controls it in the first game, until the Flauros damages her and she loses control, creating the Nowhere world. In Silent Hill 2, it's never explained. But in Origins, we see Travis Grady is able to control the Otherworld shift through the use of mirrors, and he is the first to do so. But since the power is shown to him by Alessa, it's most likely her power which she shares with him. Valtiel may also be someone who is given power by Alessa, allowing him to control the world she's created. But Valtiel doesn't have a will of his own. He serves the town. He serves God. In Silent Hill 3, he appears to help Claudia lead Heather to the town, and then acts as a midwife for God. But after God is dead, he is presumably the one that changes the world back, so Heather can return to the real world. Heather wants to find Claudia. She wants to enter the town, and she wants to live. It can be easily argued that Valtiel isn't working for God or Claudia. He's working for Heather. He keeps her alive to ensure Heather can get her revenge. He leads the way to Claudia. And when God is born, he creates a path for Heather to follow, giving her the chance to stop God. Then he returns her to the real world. It could certainly explain why a symbol that can stop God's birth would be named for God's servant, if the God Valtiel served wasn't the cult's god, but was Alessa, and through her, Heather. Valtiel turns valves which appear to affect the switch to the otherworld. A valve opens a door that typically closes or opens a path in a series of pipes that allows water to move. This visual imagery likens the otherworld to a flow of water, something which is itself constantly changing and moving, transforming, taking the shape of whatever object holds it, just as the otherworld changes shape depending on who is observing it. For the most part, Valtiel is passive and seen doing little in the background. There is one scene in the hospital that is far more active and lewd. It's hard to see and easy to miss, but he appears to be assaulting a female nurse in the hospital. But the nurse doesn't look like the other monsters. She appears completely human. In fact, she shares a great resemblance with the god monster from the end of the game. It appears as if this is an image of Valtiel serving God in a brand new way. One more quick note. Valtiel is described as being represented by the tarot card, the Magician. It's a card that represents power and knowledge. There are two symbols of eternity in the card, the figure 8 over the head, and the snake eating its tail on his waist. He reaches one hand with the magic wand towards heaven and directs the other towards earth. This is a card which represents creation and the ability to manifest desire. As an angel that can resurrect the dead, this card is the perfect representation of Valtiel.